When the Mercedes-Benz GLC first arrived in Australia in 2015, it looked like this. And I look like that. Now, well, the updates to me are pretty obvious. Here's what's changed about the GLC and other things you should know. Like the price. The entry-grade GLC 200, which is what I'm driving here, lists for about 66 grand. And the top of the range Mercedes-AMG GLC-63S Coupe is about 168 grand. If you want to know the pricing for the half a dozen other types in between them, including a 300, a 300e hybrid, which arrives in 2020 along with the AMGs, go to carsguide.com.au for the full review. And hey, like and subscribe too. Styling. The biggest design change here is to the grille. It's almost as though Benz has taken the old one and just flipped it upside down. That shiny diamond grille is part of the AMG line pack, and they're actual diamonds, all 270 of them. No, they're not diamonds, but there are 270, I think. The headlights have been redesigned too, and so have those taillights. What do you think of the new look? Let me know in the comments below. Technology. There have been some changes here too. All grades now come standard with a multi-function steering wheel with thumb swiping controls. It's like massaging the eyes of an otter. Also new across the range is a 10.25-inch touchscreen for media and that touchpad down there on the center console, and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. The GLC now comes with MBUX. It's a kind of personal assistant which can do things like open the sunroof or change the temperature. To get it to work, you just say, "Hey Mercedes," or anything which sounds just like that. Hey my babies. Hey my ladies.
How may I help you?
Also coming standard across the range is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's sat-nav, ambient lighting in every colour of the rainbow, and dual-zone climate control. Stepping up to the 300 adds stuff like wireless charging and proximity unlocking. The GLC has a beautiful cabin. The 200, which I'm in here, has Artico upholstery, which feels like leather, but it isn't. These seats are comfy and I've got good leg and headroom in the back, even though I'm 191 centimetres tall. The GLC SUV's cargo capacity is 550 litres. Ugh, that's creepy. Engines. The GLC 200 has been given a new 4-cylinder, and so has the 300. Both have more grunt. If you want some serious punch, there's the GLC 43's V6 and the 63S's V8. When we first drove this updated GLC, it was in Europe, on roads smoother than glass. In Australia, our roads aren't quite so good. So how does it drive? Let's find out. Okay, so apart from those roads being super smooth in Europe, the cars we drove over there had air suspension, and the ones that we have here don't. The GLC 200 and the GLC 300 are fitted with the standard agility control suspension. You can get air suspension, but it's an option. The agility control suspension, what does that mean? It's regular shock absorbers and coil springs. And I have to say, on Australian roads, it's not the most comfortable ride. Just going over these sort of undulations and potholes and pockmarks, it is sending shudders through the car and I can feel vibrations. I would suggest if you are going to spend any money on options, go the air suspension. I haven't driven the GLC with air suspension yet, just then, but I have driven other Mercedes-Benz models with air suspension and the ride is glorious. So you forget fancy colours and stuff like that. I would spend you any extra money if you can afford it on that air suspension. Now, in terms of the engines themselves, the GLC 200 it's fine. It's 4-cylinder, does the trick. It's not going to rip your face off. If you do want something a bit more powerful, there's the GLC 300, and yeah, look, that makes 190 kilowatts. Like that's pretty good. But if you do want more, there's the AMG models, the 43 and the 63S, and they are seriously sporty. It's the equivalent of being booted out of a pub by a bouncer, whereas the 200 and 300 is more like being escorted out of a supermarket for shoplifting. It's not as forceful, but it's still, they're getting you out of there. So there you have it, the updated Mercedes-Benz GLC. Look, it could be more comfortable, but it's sexier, it's smarter, and it's more powerful. Like me. No, not like me. Not like me at all, really. I mean, I'm sexy, but